And Cirque du Soleil here in Disney Springs has been around for quite a few years. Lanuba ran for 19 years, closed in 2021, or closed in 2017, reopened as Drawn to Life here in 2021. We have now made our 2-year anniversary just recently in 2023. Couple of things to note about this beautiful theater here in general. Just take a look at the stage itself. One of the most perfect. That was magic. Look at that. I just got the magic touch. But if you take a look at the exact stage itself, the stage is actually set up to look like an animator's desk, specifically Julie's dad's animator's desk. Now, for the people who have seen the show before, no spoilers, but this stage does play a very big, important part of our show. If you look on the floor of the stage itself, that is where Disney animators would place their pages and animate all of their drawings. Up on the left-hand side, does anybody tell me what that lamp represents? Or what that lamp is? That's the Luxo lamp from Pixar. So that is not only a nod to Pixar Animation Studios, but that is also a beautiful nod to Julie's dad during the show. So whenever Julie's dad is around during the show, the light bulb will light up, and then it will go dim whenever he's not around. The original mechanism for that lamp was supposed to make the lamp go down to look over Julie as she was animating and go back up. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that mechanism to work, but if you look up on the left-hand side, you'll still see the 2 wires that are connecting that original mechanism to make it work. Going all the way around the stage, all of the pages that you see, you'll see just a couple of drawings like a Bambi and Mickey Mouse. Those are actually pages taken from the archives. Pictures were taken of them and they were blown up and put here. And it's actually supposed to represent the multi-plane camera. So the multi-plane camera that Walt Disney would use to animate and give depths to his film. You guys can see from floor to ceiling, so all the way down to the very bottom of the basement, all the way up top is 9 stories tall. So this is a very, very big building. We have 32 different projectors all over this entire stage. So this entire stage is projection mapped. There's even tracking dots embedded into the ground of the actual stage itself. All the footlights. 5 of those footlights are actually tracking markers or tracking cameras to track all of the tracking dots around the camera. We have 3 projectors on the left truss, right truss, 3 up in the middle. We have 15 right behind you, all in our projection booth. So this entire stage is fully projection mapped and ready to go. There's even tracking dots all over the performers' costumes that you guys will get to see a little up close and personal view. A couple more things about this theater. As you can see, we just brought down our double wheel and we are setting up for our swing to swing act. On the right hand side, you'll notice a little pencil sharpener and a pencil case as well. So this is just a couple of things about the theater that I want you guys to keep in your minds for when we go under the stage and backstage. A lot of this will make much more sense. And in just a few moments, we're going to be meeting some of our artists. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Do you guys want to start with some pictures first? Yeah, all right. Let's have our first group start lining up right over here. We'll get some pictures in that. We're gonna head down this hallway over here, folks, right down this way. Feel free to get favorite photos, I think, on this wall is the photo of our horse. Keep in mind those red lines on the floor as well as the black and yellow lines. They are there for your safety, so please don't cross those lines, all right? So before we enter the room, one of the first cool things that I want you guys to note is this little trap door right up there where I'm holding my flashlight. That little trap door is actually where our pillow comes out from at the very beginning of the show. So if you guys have seen the show before or not, there's a cute little pillow that guides you on your journey throughout the entire show. We have a couple of my favorite props down here in the trap room. Two of my favorite props. The first one, this is Mary Blair's desk. All right, Mary Blair was one of the artists that has worked on several different Walt Disney movies, such as Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella. So this is Mary Blair's desk itself. A couple of the cool things about Mary Blair's desk, all of these paintbrushes, this easel, all these little paint tubes, those are from the Disney archives in California. So those all come from the Disney archives. They're not paint tubes just picked up from a Walmart. No, these actually come from the Walt Disney archives, as well as all of these photos. All of the photos you see on the desk come from the Walt Disney archives, as well as this. They just had pictures taken of them, and then they've just been blown up in order to be brought here. So feel free, pictures and videos of this desk as well. But just note that these props, these are all original from the archives as well. Out. All lifts go up 16 feet and they go down 16 feet. Does anybody know why they call it a trap room? Because when the trap is open, it is one giant trap door. So you have to watch out for the trap room. If we come along the back side of this desk right here, the back side of this desk is from the ink and paint department. at the Walt Disney Animation Studios. You guys see on the desks are all original photos from the archives itself. So these all had pictures taken of them and they've been blown up and brought here. Bottom and the top of every single lift that's here, including our big mat, they're all made to look like certain sections of the stage so that nobody knows when the magic is happening or not. We're gonna head back down this way. Welcome to our backstage area here at Drawn to Life. The backstage area is adjacent to our underneath our stage area. So this is where we have several artists practicing. This is where we keep most of our bigger props set backstage. This right over here is where we have giant mats for not only our swing to swing, but our double wheel. So these mats will be stored here and hoisted all the way up right above you. So this was just hoisted up a couple hours ago and brought down for our artists who are practicing. So if we head right this, it's interesting to see two acts that would never particularly run at the exact same time to be running at the exact same time. So if you take a look at the little monitor here and out looking on the stage, our swing to swing and our double wheel act are both rehearsing. So since this is the first day of our shows, we do put all of our artists through a little bit of a training session so that we know that they are ready to go for showtime. This is just something I could sit here and watch and admire for just hours and hours on end. The original version of this in the show was actually supposed to flip. That's why we have all of these little page pieces right here, but we can never get the mechanism to actually work and flip fast enough. So this is actually projection mapped now. So the very front of this is swung around. So you guys will only see this part over here, sort of like a facade, so it fills in the rest of the space for the eye, and then we have this projection mapped. So no two artists will have the exact same harness, and if you come in for the middle for your day and you notice my name is Neo and my harness is missing, that means you're not in the show. So that means our management team has deemed your harness unsafe and we need to figure something out with your harness, so you will not be in the show that day. So it is just another level of safety that we have here at Cirque du Soleil. So we're always making sure you are safe and nobody's ever getting hurt. This little train car right over here is part of the original train that was in Lanuba. So every single Cirque du Soleil show has a little piece of the show that will stay if another show takes over. So if you watch the show, we actually have the train from Lanuba with the little pillow riding on the back of it during the show. And it plays during our Casey Jr. sequence.
I was going to say, kind of like an Easter egg?
Yes, yes. Every single Cirque du Soleil show has an Easter egg from the show it has taken over before, sort of like a little thank you for the space. So we decided to keep Lanuba's train and make it into Casey Jr. So it's just a little nod to Cirque du Soleil's heritage as well as Walt Disney. So we just kind of, put little bits and pieces and references in there. And you also can get to see what it's like to move all of our different backdrops and our different backgrounds. As you can see, a little bit of the background and backdrop here to our hand-in-hand sequence. Like I said, all of our backdrops are mimicking the multi-plane camera that Walt Disney would use to create depth in his movies around. And if you guys remember seeing the show, our little self-doubt minions, the Dotovskis, these are where our Dotovskis live, right back here. Notice all of your tracking dots glowing, you are good to go out on stage. If one of your tracking dots is not glowing, you have to go see a part of technical management because you cannot go out on stage. Otherwise, the trackers and all of our cameras out on stage will not track you properly. So this is where you go and get your final look. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots, and I'm good to go. So that is sort of like a little final check before we go out on stage. So what it is at the very before we let you guys in the theater, you guys get a little lanyard. You guys, we can get a little lanyard, and you guys are able